Hello, my friend, and welcome back. Today I want to talk about plans. Um, as humans, it is so natural for us to want to plan, want to know. It's kind of like a safety blanket for us. And, some of us want to plan more than others, but in general, like a lot of times we like to plan, even if it's just a little bit. And planning very much comes from our thinking mind, from the ego, because when we think we know what's going to happen, it provides a sense of security. However, that is a very, very false sense of security. And the reason why it is a false sense of security is because things can change at any minute. There's a saying that says, man plans and God laughs. And that is so, 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 so true. So, we may think that like planning our day or planning our life or planning in any sort of capacity helps. And it does help, yes. Like we live in reality. So, yes, like flying by the seat of your pants for every single thing every single day is not necessarily the best thing. So, having plans and making plans, it's not a bad thing at all. Like I said, it's very much a realistic thing for living in this world. However, the inflexibility when those plans have to or need to or you would want them to change is what hurts you. So it's okay to have plans, but you want to understand that those plans can change. And when they do, when something does come up and things don't go as planned, you really want to be able to go with the flow and be very flexible in those moments. And this is something that I had a really, really, really hard time with. I very much, am a planner, not so much anymore, but, I used to be very much a planner and I very much, wanted things to go a certain way and, because I'm busy and I need to plan things so this way I can fit the things in that I want to fit in. However, what I was finding was that when something was disrupting my plans, even if it was in a good way, I felt so stuck. Like, this isn't what I planned. I have no idea what to do now. And it was really almost debilitating in those moments to not be flexible enough to go with the flow. And I'm an easygoing person, however, at the same time, I like to have plans. Say hi to Lorenzo. I like to have plans. So when something would disrupt those plans, it would be like, I didn't plan for this. I don't know. I don't know what to do now. And it just really, really wasn't a great feeling, and it really wasn't a great way to live, because just feeling that stuck was just not a great feeling. So it's something that I have been consciously working on. I have been consciously finding that balance of making plans, but also being flexible, and then also being intuitive about what I do. So we talked about last week about sometimes changing up your routine, because, changing up your routine sometimes, or not doing your routine sometimes, only scarcely not doing your routine, is good to help us maintain that flexibility, because surprises don't happen all the time. Like, yes, you might be able to plan your life 90 to 95% of the time, but when that 5 to 10% of the time comes and you need to be flexible and you need to pivot and you need to be okay with being able to pivot, if you don't have that flexibility, it's going to be very hard for you. And I know it's hard for a lot of people. Change isn't hard. We make it hard because we think that change is something that shouldn't be happening, or, something unplanned. It's, we label it as like bad or a hassle. But what we need to remember is we have a very, very, focused view. we can only see things from our perspective. Even if you are an objective and empathetic person, everything is still being seen through your lenses and through your perspective. So when we label a surprise or something not going our way or something that's disrupting our plans, when we label them as bad, what we're forgetting is that we don't have that aerial view. We don't have, yes, you can, talked about yesterday about zooming out when you're feeling stressed out, but you can imagine yourself zooming out, but at the end of the day, you actually don't have that aerial view in this experience. We're not meant to have that aerial view. Otherwise, we'd have it. So, and that is where, you know, our angels, our guides, that's where they come in, and the divine, that is where all of that comes into play, is because they have that aerial view. The divine and the divine beings that are here to guide us and help us, they all have that aerial view because they are not currently incarnated as a human in your experience. So you may find like a bump in the road or a swerve in the road or, you know, something like that. You may think that like, oh, that's bad because it's not the way I planned it. But what if like a more expert planner was helping you out? What if? Wouldn't you rather go with those plans, even if that meant that things maybe got a little messy for the time being? Or by messy, you know, not the way you planned? You know, if you were planning a party and you were planning out every detail of the party and someone came to you and they said, I am an expert party planner. I have planned thousands and thousands and thousands of parties before, and every single client of mine has been happy. Let me plan your party. Let me help you plan your party. It's not going to look the way you wanted to because you're not an expert party planner, but I am. Let me help you. Wouldn't you want that help? That's the same thing with the divine. So we think that we know everything that we want in our party and the way that we want our party to go. However, the divine's been doing this so much more than so much longer than we have. And the divine has that aerial view. And the divine also has the experience of every other experience in this lifetime, and the divine knows what's truly in your heart, where you might only know or realize what's in your head, what's in your thinking mind, what is in your socially conditioned mind. And that is where you're planning your party from. Even if you're an intuitive person and you drop into your heart, that's wonderful and that's great. And going within and getting in touch with your heart is wonderful. However, getting in touch with your guidance, your guides, your guidance, everything like that, the divine, is really, really, really going to help accelerate your journey in the way that you truly want. You know, for like that party example, that party might not look anything like that person was originally intended, but wouldn't you trust a really, really experienced party planner to throw you a freaking amazing party? A party that was way better than you could have ever imagined? Because there are so many aspects and so many different things that you didn't even think of. Let the divine be your expert party planner and co-create with the divine. We are here to do it together. It is not just one or the other. We are not here on our own, and the divine is not here to do it for us. We are here to co-create together, and that is so, so important to remember. And it's so, so important to remember when you hit a bump in the road, when your plans change, or when something gets interrupted or things don't go the way you planned. Keep in mind, be like, okay, I don't have to know the reason why this is happening, but what I can do, what I can control right now is my reaction to it. I can choose to go with the flow right now. I can choose to bring my awareness to my uncomfortability, my anger, my irritation that things are not going the way I planned. It's okay to feel those things. Those are natural. But remember, those emotions want to be felt and then they want to be let go. The emotions are here to deliver a message. You're supposed to receive the message and send the messenger on the way. You don't keep the UPS man at your house, so let him deliver the package and let him go. So don't act from those emotions. When something doesn't go as planned, you're like, oh, and you're like irritated. Stop. Pause. Breathe. And recognize the emotion. Be like, okay, that is very much coming from my ego because I had planned things differently, but this is actually the way that things are unfolding. So I'm going to jump on the lazy river and I'm going to go with the flow. And I'm going to choose to react in a way that I want to react. I'm going to respond. I'm not going to react out of ego, out of my thinking mind. So let those emotions pass. And then drop into your heart and get quiet. What do I do right now? What is under my control? And then go from that place. So yes, sometimes it's not easy, especially when you plan big things and then those big things get interrupted. It's not easy, but always just keep in mind that things are always, always, always working out for your highest good. You have to believe that. And then also believe that you have a very zoomed in perspective. And, the creator, the divine, has that aerial view. And sometimes that aerial view causes things to go in a different way than you planned or expected. And it doesn't mean it's bad. It doesn't mean that things aren't working out. And it doesn't mean that it's not okay. It is okay. Just tell yourself, it's okay. Everything's going to be okay. Everything's going to be better than I could have ever imagined because I'm going to not resist this change and I'm going to go with the flow because I know that this change was put in my path for a purpose. Okay? So when things don't go as planned and your plans get interrupted, don't get caught up in your ego. And because the other thing, the other reason why your plans getting interrupted feels so frustrating is because your ego takes that as a defeat. And your ego's only job in your ego's mind is to not be defeated. So when you plan all these things and don't go your way, the reason why you're so frustrated is that is your ego saying, I plan things a different way. And I can't be wrong. Well, newsflash, your ego is wrong. Can be wrong all the time. It's okay, though. It's okay. So remember, stop, pause, breathe, be, let the emotions go, and then respond the way you want to respond. Get in the lazy river and just go with the flow, because that's what we're supposed to do. We're supposed to be in the flow of life. Life is supposed to be easy. Let's move through life with ease and grace. And let it be easy and let it be fun. So that is our message for today. I want to thank you so much for tuning in. My name is Anne, and I'll see you next time, my friend.